evening and welcome to the second annual Badwill Draft Lottery.
Good evening, everybody.
Exactly. With me as always is my lovely assistant Wendy, she's here. She's also a member of our league. She's won our league before.
Yes.
Victoria's
Secret.
Victoria's Secret. That's correct. So this year, what's different about this year? We have a new player, Carly. You'll notice only fins, and personally, I hope Carly drafts only fins. If Carly ends up as a Dolphins homer, then that could be good news for the rest of us. Right now, that doesn't seem to be the case. I think Carly has decided to keep CD Lamb, who is still on his contract holdout with the Cowboys. I'm not sure how that's going to impact the beginning of the season, but we shall see. So, I think before we start, we've got to
Cheers.
cheers. We're going to have our draft scotch.
Good luck, everybody.
This lovely Talisker? Is it the
Talisker.
Talisker scotch? You know, so it's
From Scotland, from the Isle of Skye.
Isle of Skye. Yes. Lovely. So, those of you who have not partaken in our draft lottery will no doubt be confused by our other assistant that we have here, Eunice the unicorn. Eunice has a very special role to play tonight, in that Eunice has inside of her, Eunice's anus has chits representing all 10 of the Badwill teams. My lovely assistant Wendy will be reaching into Eunice's butt to pull out the chit of the team, and that's how we will determine the draft ranking. We'll also be hopefully giving you some useful fantasy football advice, cautions. You know, last year was not my year.
Not my year.
I went crazy with trades and destroyed my team and really second guessed, and it was not my finest hour. Somehow I still made it to the championship game with Matt Stafford is my quarterback, whom I picked up off the waiver wire. So go ahead and make of that as you will. Anyway, we are a full PPR league. We may have another assistant joining us, Remington the cat, who will. I'm not sure how he feels about scotch. All right, so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and do the first pick. We're just going to go ahead and take the first one. And so,
we're ready.
You're not even going to wear gloves? You're just going to go plunge right on in
I'm
there.
just going to plunge right on in.
All right, okay, so go ahead and maybe, mix them around a bit. Ooh, that looks painful. All right, the number 10 pick in the 2024 draft is me. I'm definitely gonna have a drink after that one. Whoops, sorry. That's it's all right. It's all right. This is I guess this is the point in the draft where I make the point that any draft position can yield a championship team. And I better prove that this year.
You have won many.
Yes, I have one. I don't know that I ever picked from the 10th position. The really great thing about picking from the 10th position is you get 2 picks in a row. You get to pick the 10th and the 11th pick.
That's true.
Which is really nice.
So
so there is a blessing. Oh, here, let's have a drink after that.
Oh wow.
I needed an extra one.
I think you're a 10. I've always thought he was a 10.
Ooh, thank you very much. So, okay, so I guess I'm picking 10th this year. Who will I pick 10th? I can tell you who my keeper this year is going to be Bijan Robinson, who plagued me last year. Actually, it wasn't really Bijan that plagued me. It was really the coach of the Atlanta Falcons, who is now the offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm surprised he actually got a job as badly as he, last year, starting third string tight ends and running backs and using the Bijan Robinson, who was the 7th overall pick in the 2023 draft, as a decoy on many occasions. The year before he had Drake London. The year before he drafted Kyle Pitts and ended up 7-10 all 3 of his seasons. So good riddance. And so this year I'm going to roll the dice with Bijan, and so that will be my keeper. So
Good choice.
yeah. So Wendy, have you settled on a keeper yet?
I'll tell you when my number's drawn.
Oh, okay. There you go. All right. So the number 9.
Number 9.
The number 9 pick in the 2024 Badwill Draft Lottery will be
Anaheim All-Stars.
Anaheim All-Stars. My first cousin once removed, Matt Rice. Last year, Matt's keeper was Austin Eckler, which really goes to show how quickly somebody can fall out of grace. Austin Eckler had a fantastic year in 2020-22 with the Chargers. Came back, was Matt's keeper, was a consensus first-round pick. In all the fantasy drafts, he just completely imploded. Part of that had to do with the Chargers. Herbert being injured, Keenan Allen, the Chargers being the Chargers, and now he's sharing carries with Brian Robinson in Washington, playing for the Redskins. Yes, I'm calling them the Redskins. And I'll go to that.
Cheers.
Okay. So Matt, I know last year was not the best year for you, as evidenced by the fact that your keeper, unfortunately, is the 47th ranked Joe Mixon. Now a running back playing for Houston. But hey, Houston's got some amazing offensive players, wide receivers. Stroud had a great year,
Yes.
so here we go. Again, you can win for the 9th spot. You can win from any spot. All right.
All right, are we ready for number 8?
Are we good for number 8?
Number
All right, 8, which is Wendy's favorite number. She loves
It is.
number 8.
It is.
I love number 9.
It's my lucky number.
Well, let's hope not.
Devil
Devil
Dogs.
Dogs.
Devil Dogs.
Devil Dogs is probably one of the biggest Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, conventional wisdom tells you that if you stack your team, pay attention, Carlin, with your favorite, with players from your favorite team, it doesn't work out well. A couple of years ago, though, Devil Dogs won the championship. He had, I believe he had Tom Brady. I think he may have had Godwin, or was it Evans? He had either Evans or Godwin. He may have had Rashad White. I know he had the kicker. He had defense. So it really worked out. It was one of Tom Brady's. It might have been Brady's last year. We haven't had a drink yet.
Oh, good. I was
Just
going to
taking
say he was
a
all
drink.
bucked up, but yeah.
That's right. He was bugged up. And last year, unfortunately, Devil Dogs refused or failed to name a keeper, meaning that Wendy and I came back for a post-draft lottery show, which we call the Dread Lottery, in which case we take chits representing each member of Devil Dogs' team, and we picked somebody out. We got Aaron Rodgers, who played 4 snaps last year before he tore his Achilles. So take that as a lesson, kids. Make sure you pick your keeper.
Yes.
Yeah.
You still have time to do it till when?
You have a couple more days. I believe everyone except for Devil Dogs and Mudslingers have named the keeper. So well done all.
Great.
While you can win probably from any spot in the draft, having your keeper picked for you, especially when it's a quarterback who only plays 4 snaps, is essentially just burning a player. That makes it really tough to win. All right.
All right.
Number 7, lucky
Numbers.
number 7.
Yeah.
I think in this case, lucky would be number 1.
Yes. Okay, here we go.
All right, drum roll, please.
6-piece Happy Meal.
6-piece Happy Meal. That is my brother-in-law. So last year, 6 pieces keeper is the same as this year, and it's pretty much a no-brainer. Christian McCaffrey, who after a couple of injury-plagued seasons with the Panthers, and went to a real team, and has been absolutely the consensus number 1 player in the league. Now, how long that's going to last, who can say? But right now, I mean, it really is a no-brainer. He's the number 1 running back in fantasy football. PPR league, he's gold. I mean, he is absolutely, his floor is incredible. I mean, he probably has 20 points for most days.
But
So,
he did get married this past year, so that may change things a little.
are you saying that would ruin his life?
I
being married?
know,
Is it-
but I'm saying Travis Kelce didn't have as great a year as our
Well.
teams. Taylor Swift. Very good. Word for that.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I mean, running backs this year, one interesting thing, a lot of running backs have changed teams this year. Aaron Jones went to the Vikings.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs went to the Packers. Joe Mixon went to the Houston. Derrick Henry is now with the Ravens.
Oh, goodness.
Who else has moved around? Austin Eckler, as we said, went to the Redskins. I can't think. I know a couple of other, which kind of provokes a couple of upstarts. Zamir Miller, I think, is going to be the running back for the Raiders. So, I mean, that's kind of a shot in the dark. I mean, he's going to be somebody that, I guess he could do well, but, it's the Raiders, and who's their quarterback going to be? So, I probably would steer clear. But we'll have to see. I know that James Cook stepped up in Buffalo. Singletary's gone. He's with the Giants. I don't know, did the Giants even have a running back besides Singletary? We'll have to ask anything is possible about that. Yeah.
All right, let's try for number 6 here.
Number 6. Okay.
Maybe halfway through.
Hopefully I didn't just jinx anything here.
Only
Our
Fins.
newbie, number 6 picking is Only Fins. So you can guess that our new player Carly is a Miami Dolphins fan. I think we should all drink to that, or at least have a drink in honor of that.
Okay. All right.
What in the name of Dan Marino is going on here? So, Carly, what advice?
Welcome, Carly.
What advice can I give Carly? PPR league.
You'd be happy if you finished in the middle, because that's what I did my very first year. I came in 5th or 6th, so I was right in the middle of the pack.
Okay. I'll give more substantive advice. Instead of chasing catches for receivers, look at targets. You want a receiver or a running back who gets a lot of targets. The target that typically reflects the usage of a player. Sometimes it doesn't always translate into catches or a lot of points necessarily, depending on who's throwing the ball and what's going on with the team. But targets typically will show you the usage of a player. Last few years, it's DeAndre Hopkins was a huge target hog a few years ago. He's really fallen off. I mean, I did a draft with another team just because I wanted to play with the draft. I just wanted to see how it went. Hopkins went undrafted. I don't know if that'll be the case here. He's playing in Tennessee, which isn't exactly a big place. I mean, for who knows what they'll do. They've got a new coach, new quarterback, other receivers I think are in Tennessee too. So new running back, a couple of new running backs. You've got Tajay Spears and you've got Pollard. Pollard was another one. He played for the Cowboys last year. He's in Tennessee, which means that Ezekiel Elliott went back to Dallas. All right.
Zeke's still hanging in there. Okay.
All right, wait. Okay, so very good.
I'm ready.
All right, so we have reached the halfway point in the draft. I don't know why, if there's any significance to that, except for me just to draw this out a little bit longer. So, all right, we'll go on with. Go ahead and reach into Eunice's anus there and pull out our number 5 pick. Oh, Eunice is not liking that at all.
Anything is possible.
One pick too late. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
Yeah, what's really funny is anything is possible. Finished last or near last year. Had a lot of bad luck. What's hilarious is if you go and look at Anything's team, Anything has a all-star team right now. Had Breece Hall, who is going to be the keeper, Justin Jefferson, C.J. Stroud. Who else was on the team? I mean, it was just
He's got a lot of good players.
Seriously, players that are in the top 20. I think 3 or 4 players in the top 20.
I do too.
Which is going to end up, but and I have to admit, I toyed around with the idea of have a drink in honor of him.
Yes.
It's not Hennessy, but it is good scotch from Scotland. Yeah. So, what's his name?
Anything is possible.
Yeah.
You toyed around with that.
One and having two
keepers.
keepers, but I couldn't, the idea of having 20 players out of action right before the draft starts, I thought, let's just keep it really competitive. And it just really puts the emphasis on making the right choice on that one keeper that you have. And most of you guys picked really, really well. I felt for Matt, whose team was kind of slim pickings.
So do you know who's he keeping?
Joe Mixon.
No.
Anything is keeping Breece Hall, who seems to be the consensus number 2 running back out there. My Bijan is number 3, and let's just hope if he lives up to that, I will be ecstatic. So I've got a 2-year investment in this guy. So we'll see.
Ready for number 4?
Unless you have anything you want to add. All right, so we are down to the last 4 picks. So last year, the number 1 pick was Richmond Rampage. Oh, the UP Freezing Fuzzies. All right.
So let's tell them who he is.
Okay, the UP
Yeah.
UP Freezing Fuzzies is, besides Wendy, the other Ohio State graduate. Whatever.
Big fan.
Yeah. And between the two of them, they compete for the Ohio State players. So I guess this is a good time to talk about Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yes, definitely.
I don't know if it's just wishful thinking, if it's just the guy's talent, which is just immense. But he is in most of the drafts, his average draft position is going in the 2nd round. I thought the 3rd would be the earliest he would go. He's not proven in the NFL. He's got Kyler Murray thrown to him, which, Kyler has his moments, but, Arizona was definitely not a good team last year. I think James Conner is still there though, which is, most wide receivers don't come out of the block just as world beaters.
Is Hollywood Brown still there? Is he?
Hollywood Brown he is now with the Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
he's with the Chiefs. Which is they seem to be kind of flying under the radar. I think they've just been good for so long that the expectation is, Now it's kind of like any receiver who goes there. It's like when Peyton Manning was with the Colts. It didn't matter who was there.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Marvin Harrison Sr. was with Peyton Manning and the Colts.
Yes.
So Marvin Harrison Jr. So I guess we'll have to see where he goes in our draft. If one of our 2 Ohio State alumni decides to, decides to jump on that and see. Victoria's Secret. I won't reveal your keeper yet until we get to your keeper.
I know, and I'm like, I better not.
So this is
not rigged. Trust me.
So okay, Victoria. Well, yeah, obviously it's not rigged. Otherwise, I would have made myself a bit higher.
I'm like, am I going to pull myself out if it's like a number 1? People are going to think.
So
do?
Who's left? You, Victoria's Secret,
Me, Tom,
Richmond Rampage, and
Mudslingers.
Yeah, the league champion. Well, I actually considered making the league champion have to pick from the 10th spot, but I guess I didn't. It just seemed weird. All right, so interestingly, last year, Richmond Rampage got the 1st round pick, and kept I believe kept Jamar Chase. And because Devil Dogs didn't pick a keeper, was able to pick Tyreek Hill with his 1st pick. Well, now this year, Rampage has kept Tyreek Hill, and if Rampage somehow gets the number 1 pick again, could reunite Jamar Chase in a really odd sort of way, sense of serendipity there, but we'll just have to see. Let's have our.
Oh yes, we didn't drink to UP Freezing Fuzzies.
Yeah, that's right. UP Freezing.
Number 4.
Fuzzies. Good luck, Wes.
Mm-hmm. Good luck, Wes.
And we'll have to see. Though, I don't think Wendy wishes you luck as far as Ohio State grad players. Chris Olave, Marvin
Garrett
Harrison
Wilson.
Jr., Garrett Wilson,
C.J. Stroud.
C.J. Stroud, who else? From the Ohio State.
Well,
University.
Ezekiel Elliott was from Ohio State.
Is he who?
Wasn't he? Zeke Elliott?
Ezekiel, are you going to draft him?
No,
Oh.
but he was. Smith Najiba.
Okay, so we're down to 3.
Yes.
We're down to 3. All right. The third pick in the 2024
We're down to 3.
Badwill draft will be
Richmond Rampage.
Richmond Rampage. That's actually fortuitous, right? After we started talking about
really?
that. I think I spoke that into existence. Sorry, Tom. Richmond Rampage is my first cousin, who is a big fantasy player, not just in our league, but in other leagues. Very experienced, and he introduced me to fantasy baseball before there was such a thing as fantasy baseball. When we were kids and went to the beach together, he had a card set, and it was called APA. And you would order these cards, and they would come in pouches. There was a pouch for each Major League Baseball team, and on the cards was one player. Each player, like for example, Dwight Gooden, Darryl Strawberry, of the Mets, Carter. There was Mookie Wilson, so you had a player, and the card had a bunch of numbers on it, and the numbers corresponded with rolls of the dice, and you had these boards that also came with it. I mean, I know this sounds really complicated, but this is the days before the internet, and you could play entire baseball games by rolling the dice. You would have a board if the base is empty, and then you'd have men on first and second, and then the base is loaded, or second and third, and you would roll the dice, and based on what the dice said, you would look to the corresponding number on the player's card, and that would tell you what happened. So obviously, the really good players would have more beneficial results, and you could play entire games, and I fell in love with. I think that was the first time I really fell in love with fantasy sports, and again, it wasn't something that was done socially. It was something you just kind of played by yourself. But I owe that to him, and it's always been one of my formative.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That's worth taking.
All
That's
right.
worth taking a drink.
All right.
All right.
Good luck, Tom. Richmond Rampage.
All right.
Trying to fall off the board here.
So we're down to 2. We're down to.
Who is Tom keeping?
Oh, Tom is keeping. I mentioned it last time. Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill. Oh.
Tyreek Hill. Wise choice, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think, though, at a certain point, I'm not a big Tua fan. Oh,
Don't
sorry,
listen
Carly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just probably not going to draft. But we'll see. All right, so really we're down to Victoria's Secret and the defending champion Mudslingers. Now, if there's any justice in the universe, Mudslingers is not going to get the number 1 pick. I mean, the defending champ really shouldn't get the number 1 pick.
This is true.
And I really for the 2025, draft, we may actually have to go to the champion automatically picking 10th, but we'll see about that next year. All right. So the number 2 pick in the Badwill draft is going to be Mudslingers.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. This is going to be my year, folks. Must be. I can't believe it.
Well, I suppose,
Seriously, this was not right.
you have 9 times stuck your hand up a unicorn's ass. I suppose you deserve the first round pick. I mean, I
Oh
can't.
my goodness, I can't believe it. I don't believe it.
Well, let's give some credit to Mudslingers who beat me in the championship game last year. Mudslinger, I'm grateful.
You've been in the league for a while.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And managed to win first championship. I believe the first championship.
Ever?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I can't even remember who's on the team. I think AJ
Davis.
Brown.
Oh.
AJ Brown is probably his likely keeper. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't want to influence, but that's the. If I had that team, I would probably pick AJ Brown because that's AJ Brown in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a fantasy juggernaut, with Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley. Now that he's escaped the hell that was the New York Giants, and actually playing for a good team. Sorry, Hennessy. I just think that was a cheap shot. That's okay. Tell you what, I'll take a drink as a result of that.
So, we forgot to mention, UP Freezing Fuzzies is keeping,
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, we did mention that. You just made me think of it when you said
Amon-Ra St. Brown. Okay, so
Yeah.
Amon-Ra, which is a really great chance. Which for the second year in a row, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's a player that I've always wanted to have, and I've never been, he's just an electric player. Detroit is clearly a team on the rise. With respect to my stepfather, John, who was a big Chicago Bears fan in that division. I think Detroit has the best team in that division, although Green Bay is nothing to sneeze at. Minnesota's going to take a step back this year. It's really, they had McCarthy as their quarterback, and he's out for the year. Now they're kind of stuck at the moment with Sam Darnold. Whether they'll make a trade, I heard some rumors that they might want to try to get, oh my gosh, what's his name? The son of Satan from...
Derek Carr.
That's it, Derek Carr. Sorry, I'm sure he's a perfectly nice guy, but if you ever look at him, he looks like the devil. I mean, he has the eyes that just... So right now Minnesota and Chicago is going to be a team on the rise, although it's difficult to say what Caleb Williams is going to do. Normally, freshman quarterbacks don't play that well, but C.J. Stroud from the Ohio State University had the season to end all seasons for rookie quarterbacks. And I think he'll probably go a little higher in the draft than he should. I'm not saying that he's not going to have a great year, because he might, but we'll just have to see. All right, so let's have the drink for Mudslingers. The championship, to honor the championship, Richmond Rampage seems to want to fall off the board. Maybe he's a little grumpy that he's not number one again this year. So let's go ahead and have the drum roll for what we already know is that my lovely assistant found a way to cheat and get the number one.
I don't know how I did this. I honestly, I don't. I have no idea. I just got lucky. I hope I get that lucky tonight on the Powerball drawing.
Oh.
Right?
I heard lucky and my brain went somewhere else. Sorry, guys.
Oh.
Maybe it's the scotch.
I think it's
sure. Maybe it's the scotch. Anyway, so Victoria's Secret won the championship a few years ago. Has had a couple uneven finishes in the years, the last couple of years. Had astonishing bad luck last year.
Oh,
almost as bad as anything is possible. Traded for Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb blew out a leg.
Traded off Breece Hall.
Yeah, traded off Breece Hall. And it ended up I think 7th or 8th place. I think it was. Is that right?
I didn't make the playoffs. I think I was.
So ninth. So ninth. I think maybe ninth. You and anything? Was that right? And finish in 10th?
Josh and I were, tied.
Yeah, down at the bottom. So I can't begrudge you the number one pick. Your keeper is going to be.
So, pretty sure I'm going to go with Garrett.
That's a big surprise.
Garrett Wilson.
Wait, where did he play his college football again?
The Ohio State
University.
University.
Okay.
Plus, he's like one of the top wide receivers.
He is.
I mean, I have Kyron Williams and Saquon Barkley. I think I am going to go with wide receiver instead of running back.
Well, the interesting thing about Garrett Wilson is that he had a really good season last year. I mean, it's kind of overshadowed by the fact that the Jets were kind of a disaster.
Yeah, it's because Aaron Rodgers, and I'm really hoping Aaron Rodgers has a good year since he's coming off of a non-year.
So last year, Garrett Wilson caught 95 passes, 1,042 yards, 3 touchdowns, 168 targets. So this guy was targeted. He caught probably only 2 out of every 3 targets because of terrible quarterback played. In fact, I don't even know who the quarterback for the Jets was last year.
I don't remember.
Was it still Zach Wilson, or had he moved on? I think they had a couple of guys playing. So the fact that he had such an amazing season, I mean, this guy is waiting to break out. Aaron Rodgers, though he's clearly past his prime, is good enough to be able to get Garrett Wilson the ball, which is why I think keeping Garrett Wilson is a fantastic idea. And now, the highest ranked non-taken player, you're going to have your pick of either Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. You know, I know which one I'd pick. Yeah. So you're going to be able to load up right out of the box with one great wide receiver and one from Ohio State. The bad part about picking number one is you've got to wait 20 picks to come, so your chances of getting Marvin Harrison Jr. are probably slim to none. Unless you want to take Marvin Harrison with your number one pick, which you could do. Depends on how bad you want two Ohio State wide receivers.
We'll see.
I guess we'll just have to see.
We'll have to see.
So, we will raise our glass
Oh, yes.
and congratulate Victoria's Secret, and we'll have mercy on Parallel Dragons here, finishing, with the 10th. So that's feast and famine there, I think.
It really is. I can't believe it played out that way.
But again, you can win from any spot, in the draft, and I would encourage Carly, who hasn't played fantasy football before, just to realize that it really is true that if you draft and then play during the year, and it's so much fun. I'm glad we don't do this for money. I'm glad we just do it for fun, because I could never play fantasy football for money.
No.
I'd be a wreck. I really would. I'd be drinking for real if that was true, I think.
All right.
So, anything left you want to add?
Just good luck, everybody.
Yeah, good luck, and please have fun and drink responsibly.
Looking forward to the season.
All right.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers. All right.